Alan Wake 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the original Alan Wake, coming out 13 years after the original game, and is now available, of course, on PlayStation 5, PC, Epic Game Store exclusive, because that was smart, and Xbox Series X and S, and is a survival horror game, and this video may or may not be going against the grain, but it looks very good in terms of graphics, and it plays absolutely fine, but pacing is dreadful. The game does not start well. I remember the first Alan Wake and loving it and wanting to find out what happened next and its episodic nature and all that. It was really, really good. It was really cool. Remedy did a really good job with that. I like the mechanic of using the flashlight to weaken the enemies and then shooting them with a revolver. That was great. It was quite spooky at times, and it was just really good. Now this one, don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but Alan Wake 2 for me personally is not as good as the first one for its pacing. It took me about an hour and a half before any action or anything started. There are some really cool ideas within the game with you start off taking control of Saga Anderson, who is a FBI agent, and her partner Alex Casey, who is played by the Mad Max voice actor and motion capture guy, which is pretty cool. That they go to Bright Falls to investigate, obviously, the series of disappearances and murders and all that kind of stuff going on. And you have to piece together crimes, and you have to. She's got like a mind palace thing, like Sherlock, that you can go in and piece clues together and whatnot. It kind of does it for you. So you just kind of got to collect the bits and then put them on the board where you think they go. It's not too difficult, but it's cool. It's all cool mechanics, and when you actually get to play as Alan, similar kind of thing happens as well. And you can find pages strewn about the world which help you out. The map does open up a little bit with Saga, and you actually get to run around and find treasure chests. Well, not treasure chests, you know what I mean, just collectibles and stuff and little puzzles and whatnot, so that's really cool. But then as soon as you get that given to you, it then gets taken straight away really, and then you swap over to Alan, and then later on down the game you can choose between them, and the stories do intersect at points. It's a very weird story, and there's a really cool mechanic with Alan where you can collect light, basically, kind of like Dumbledore, really, with his little gizmo where he can take light and then put it back again. And that's what you do with Alan, and it creates distortions in the world which will alter what you can do and see with Alan. And it is quite freaky, because with Alan you're running around like a really freaky New York and trying to find your way through whilst also not getting munched. It's pretty scary and freaky, and like I said, graphically it looks really, really good. Lighting is great. I have noticed quite a fair few bugs on the PS5 version, but it's not broken or terrible at all or anything. And again, please, I don't hate the game at all in the slightest. I really like the game, and I'm glad I played through it, but it's just not as good as the first one, or as punchy as the first one. But that's just my personal opinion. There's a lot of walking about and just looking for stuff as opposed to shooting the crap out of things, really. Of course, there are a lot of people out there that really love the game and are giving it perfect scores, and that's cool, and I'm glad that they found that enjoyment within the game. But I don't know what I was expecting. I think 13 years is far too long for a sequel. I've spoken about this in another video where I think games are costing far too much to make for some reason, taking far too long to develop, and are releasing at far too much. It just seems a bit top heavy and a bit imbalanced. And I do like the fact that they did use live action bits in Alan Wake 2. That's pretty cool, pretty funny, very self-aware and all that. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, if there is a third Alan Wake coming, I hope it doesn't take another 13 years, because I was in my 20s when the first Alan Wake released. I'm in my 30s when the second Alan Wake released. I don't particularly want to be pretty much I'm 35 now. If it takes another 13 years, I don't really want to be basically 50 by the time the third one comes out, you know? That would be nice to play it earlier. But yeah, if you're thinking of checking it out, I would get it cheaper If you can, I would wait for a sale or get it a lot cheaper, like around about the 20 quid mark, and then you might not feel as stung. But again, it's not a terrible game. It's good, and when it's good, it's really good, but it's just... the pacing is just horrific. But let me know in the comments if you've played this one or the first one, or you're thinking of checking it out. Please, I did like the game. I didn't love it, but I did like it. And as always, thank you very much for watching.
I had to get out.